What if Pokemon Sleep is making a real-life dream world?
And now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, P.U.C.L Podcast.
It's P.U.C.L! It's P.U.C.L! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! P.U.C.L!
And welcome to the 391st episode of the P.U.C.L Podcast. I am your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my exceptional co-host. I'd say my competitive co-host. Today we've got the doc himself, Dr. Shamu.
Hello.
I think he's still tired from surgery last night. And then, of course, we've got just the braggadocious Sublime.
Stop. Too much.
I will never stop.
Oh, I love it.
All right, but welcome to the show. If you're new, welcome back. If you're old, this is the P.U.C.L Podcast. P.U.C.L, of course, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, because what else would it stand for? The Purdue University Cyclotron Laboratories? I doubt that. And so, welcome to the P.U.C.L Podcast, where we talk everything Pokemon, from the trading card game to the video game to even such obscure games such as Pokemon Battle Revolution. Welcome back. It's a great time. So some of you are probably here because John Stone led you here, because we have an interview with him later in the show. We can give you the timestamp in the show notes. If not, he might have given it to you as well, if you'd like to skip ahead to that. But if not, we encourage you to listen to see what else we do here on the show. We have a good time. So I guess without further ado, we got other things going on today. We've got, we open up with a little bit of chit chat, then we go and we break down some news, though granted, a lot of the news is going to be our main topic today. And then we're going to jump into, our Poke Quiz, where we actually quiz our co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge. That's what we should call it, instead of innate. Maybe that'll make Scrawn feel better. And then, of course, then we'll jump into the topic, which is today going to be about the press conference that happened earlier this week, which is just crazy nutsos in and of itself. It dropped some like really weird stuff. It was an odd press conference in general.
It was.
Yeah, it was a really weird one. And then after that, we'll go into the Pokemon of the episode, and then we'll end things with the interview with John Stone. So, I guess before we kick off too much, how are you guys doing? What's up with you? How's been life?
Not bad.
Not bad. Anything new going on, Pokemon-wise?
The only thing new is, the Summer League has started.
That has started.
Like, badges.
The number of people I've seen saying, I don't have my team ready yet is too high. I'm gonna say
it happens every year.
It happens every year, and then they don't start collecting until like the second week of July, and then they're just like, but how come I can't get all the badges?
I don't have enough time. It's not fair. I'm like, no.
It was fair. No. What was I doing all of June for you? Like,
well, I believe we did extend it this time.
We did make it 9 weeks, I think, this time. I think it goes like all the way to August.
It goes past that, I think.
Yeah,
like,
we
way
go
past that.
We are going like a bit farther this year because it's usually a problem.
Because I think we actually did 12 weeks this time. I gotta double check that real quick, because I think last time I checked it said September 8th.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was right or not. I just don't remember for sure.
That's probably right. Oh wait, no, it doesn't go to September 8th. The badge collection can't go that long.
I don't know if it's. I'm not entirely sure myself. But that's.
We'll have to double check that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe in a perfect world we do that, but in like the world where Thatch values his time, that is not what happens.
If
I don't know what it is, I'm not sure.
It does say September 8th.
We should fix that. Hopefully people don't think we're going to be doing it all through August. All right, but what about you, Sublime? What you been up to? How's everything going?
Let me tell you, not as much Pokemon news, lots of life news. I just finished the school year ended, so I'm in summer. Yay!
Ooh.
I'll be moving at the end of the summer.
Ooh, to a house?
To a house in the Pacific Northwest.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Exactly, right? Yes, everyone's living there. It's kind of like P.U.C.L's mini headquarters, really.
It's like the Pacific Northwest and then Ohio.
Yeah. There's a lot of people in the Pacific North. There's a lot of P.U.C.L people in the Pacific Northwest.
A lot of P.U.C.L staff specifically too.
Yeah, we meet up. It's nice. It's good.
Yeah. And then I occasionally go there.
Yeah. So one of these days we'll have Puckle WinterCon, the unofficial.
The official.
Unofficial.
PuckleCon's almost already unofficial.
Right. Well, Puckle WinterCon is going to be, we're really taking it back underground. We're putting the U back in Puckle.
We're going to a basement. Okay, guys?
Exactly.
We're going to hang out in somebody's basement and have a good time.
So I'm just living my best summer life.
I can understand that. Yeah, I get it.
Imagine Thatch sipping a pina colada.
Pina colada out of a pineapple-shaped plastic
Exactly.
cup.
Exactly. That's my life. It's great. It's good.
Yeah, that's a good picture, by the way. I was pretty happy with that picture.
It is.
It came out really well. If you don't know what we're talking about, we started posting a picture in the Discord, and we've started turning it into a meme, and it might turn into a new Thatch card for the patrons. Yeah. But we got badges first. Like the bow card's getting shipped out this weekend. And then the badges.
I love that bow card.
And then the badges will start getting shipped out by the middle of the month. So if you do want to get the badges, if you want to get this month is going to be the Ferrum badge, the fighting type badge. If you want to get a hold of that as a patron, you need to be a patron by the 10th of June. So by the Monday the next episode comes out on, you need to be at that $10 tier if you want to get that badge. So just throwing that out there. Other than that though, I think that's it. I mean, for me, I've just been doing Summer League Lake Shamu. I had a few battles. I missed my gym night, but I did like another night earlier the week. It was a good time. I've gone 1-1. I had Liger got my badge because he brought a psychic type team, full psychic type team plus Hawlucha. And so I'm just like, oh, that's no fun.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just like, I can't prep for all of this.
That's just like a hard, like, well, do them. Yeah,
I can't prep for all of the counters, right? Like,
yeah,
I can only prep for some of them. So it was just like, he brought like psychic type team plus Tapu Koko plus Hawlucha. And I'm just like, well, this was fun. Cause like my counter to all of those mons is just Magearna. Just Magearna.
Yeah.
And it can only handle one or two of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Magearna's real good for this stuff, just with his move pool and bulk.
Magearna's just really good, and it's making me realize more and more why people want it banned.
I feel it.
Just because it feels such a niche on my team, and it's just scary. I hate facing it as well. I absolutely just don't want to face a Magearna. But
I have no problem facing it. It's just like the fact that I have it. Like, oh wow, that shouldn't have tanked that thing from a DLC.
Yep, exactly. I should not have taken that Earth Power. I should not have taken that Earthquake.
I have no special defense investment. All I needed was Assault Vest. Why?
I'm very confused.
Why does this work?
Yep. But that's where I've been. It's been a good time just doing that, throwing this together Summer League, having a good time, giving out the badge. I've got those badges done. The fighting type ones, they're like sitting on my desk. I really like them. The other ones we sent out thanks to the patrons who helped us fund another set of badges. So we've got 4 more coming in the mail. I think next week actually. They're scheduled to be completed end of next week, I think, on the 7th. I think that Friday. They're scheduled to be complete. So that's going to be really cool and fun. They're going to be complete. They'll get shipped out to me, and I'll probably have them the week after that, just in time for PuckleCon. It'll be a blast. We can wear them in our shirts and look like we're cool people, except for the people that think we're weird. But
so no one. Okay.
Yeah, no one. But that is it. Let's kick it on over to the news. We got some stuff to talk about. So let's cue that epic music.
Coming to you live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
And welcome to the news. So we have the press conference stuff. We're going to get to that here a little bit later in the show when we get to the topic segment after the quiz. But there are some like smaller pieces of news which I think are kind of fun to talk about. And the first being, if we want to talk about Pokemon Go, because we have to talk about Pokemon Go. Niantic has announced that their next Pokemon Go event is Adventure Week. It typically happens this time of year anyway. Like every year, it happens like the end of May, early June. Which is really nice. It's like the one consistent event that they have every year. And so what that means is if you go spin a new Pokestop, you will get, I think it's like 10 times experience right now, which is absurd. Yeah. And so this is happening June 4th to June 11th. They've added some new things. So it's Adventure Week. It features increased rock-type spawns, 2-kilometer egg hatches, and raid battles, and shiny Onyx, Lily, and Anorith. You also get 4 times Buddy Candy during the event, 10 times experience at newly spawned Pokestops as well. And if you walk 50 kilometers with Adventure Sync that week, you will earn 50,000 Stardust and 15 rare candies. So it's nothing to like kind of... I mean, it's cool. I'm excited. I'm going to go get my 50K and go get my Stardust and my rare candies as well. Just because I think I just love this event. I also have that Meltan quest line still going in my special research, and I just want it gone. And the only thing I need to do is catch like one more Lilip or Anorith, and then it's gone. I really just hate having that special research. We were talking about that last week. It's also been a really long time since we've had any special research come out from Niantic, which is really sad. They're probably waiting for GoFest where we'll get Jirachi special research, but at that point, it'll have been 7 months.
Yeah.
Since that special research came out, which is incredibly long compared to the rest of them we've had. Like we had that really cool Halloween one with Spiritomb. We had the Mew one. We had the Celebi one. We had, what other ones came out? We had the Meltan one. I think there's one more that came out. But I enjoy the special research. I think it's a lot of fun. Gives you some long-term goals. The other thing, there's some other things with Pokemon Go I want to talk about that came out from the press conference. There is, currently, I think this ends on June 3rd, so when the show comes out. So unfortunately, I just want your takes on it and see how dumb you think this is. Niantic has put sleeping Snorlaxes into Pokemon Go. And you can go catch them, and they just know the move Yawn, which does no damage in Pokemon Go.
I thought it was a tie-in to the press conference.
It is a tie-in to the press conference.
Yeah, and I like the idea, even if it's terrible. And you know what? For some people, especially more casual players, Snorlax is still
that's true
rare. So it's like, get yourself a Snorlax.
Yeah,
there you go. You missed it. There's a chance.
Because initially it was pretty common, but now it's like it's been a while since we got a lot of new.
It used to be in raids, and it's not anymore.
Well, I just remember the day like when like Go first launched, where once you get a certain level, it's like, oh, here's like 4 Snorlaxes sitting in a corner. Yeah, it was just super common. Like I think even to myself who doesn't play anymore, I have like 4 or 5 just because that's how common they were.
I think it's interesting. It's a cool little nod. I think you're exactly right though. Like the casual players, this is really good for, and I think a lot of
if you started playing more recently, it's really hard to get some of the original Pokemon if you're jumping in after it launch. So
yeah, I think it's a little sad considering the they did a press conference exactly around this time last year as well. That's where we got the Let's Go announcement and stuff like that. And for that press conference, that's when they also dropped Alolan Executor.
Yes, this is a downgrade. This is a downgrade.
I think that's definitely a downgrade from Alolan Executor. Yeah.
How are you not going to be a downgrade from Alolan Executor, though, to be fair?
That's true. I just was kind of hoping, I don't know, it would have been really exciting for them to be like, here's Gen 5 or something like that. Like, here's the first Gen 5 Mon, you know?
Too soon. Way too soon.
I don't know. They kind of keep shifting it up. It's like once every 10 months. It's like once every 10 months there's a new they drop the next generation. Because, like, Gen 2 came out in February of 2017. And then Gen 3 started coming out in like October of 2017. And then Gen 4 started coming out like in August.
Tie-in. Yeah, I don't know. No.
So it's been a long time coming, I think. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they dropped Gen 5 at GoFest or something like that. I just wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
I guess.
I'll throw that out there.
Have they released all of the legendary Pokemon from Gen 4 yet? Like
no, not at all. No, we regressed. We went back to Cresselia now, and then we're going to be going to Kyogre and Groudon in the next 2 cycles. We haven't even seen Dialga and Palkia yet.
I thought we had. I think we have.
Have we? Maybe we have.
Yeah, we have.
We have. Never mind. I lied. We have. We've seen Dialga and Palkia. So yeah, we've seen every Gen 4 minus like the Mythicals.
There's no Shaman.
There's no Shaman, there's no Jirachi. Well, there's no Jirachi either. But like those are mythicals. I assume they're going to treat those differently. Because I mean, you could argue there's still no Jirachi or anything too, right?
But I could totally see them doing like a different event for Shaman. I bet. Yeah, I could see that.
I think you could just fill like a year with like the special research. Honestly, like you've got enough mythicals at this point that you could just do one every 3 months, and I think that would be fun. I think that would be a cool way to do it. And it keeps me active, keeps me wanting to engage and play in the game. Like if that's what their goal is to just like swamp me with things to do. This is the way to do it, in my opinion. right? Like community days are great, but you just dropped this Snorlax thing and then you're following it up with Slaking as your community day. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, there was way more to talk about in this press conference that we'll get to. I think the only thing that I'm willing to talk about here that I don't think is that exciting is that there is a sequel for Detective Pikachu coming to the Switch this not this year.
Not the movie yet, guys. Don't
movie.
jump. When he said sequel to Detective Pikachu, don't get ahead of yourselves. I will say, I bet this will do better than the original Detective Pikachu just because of brand recognition.
That game just has like an awkward history in general. Like it came out in Japan and never got localized for like 2 years until they announced they were making the Detective Pikachu movie. And then we got the Detective Pikachu game localized here in the US. It also included chapters that weren't in the original one. It's such a weird history for that game. It's really I understand why they gave that to the movie though, because it's just like, here's a property that we don't care if you screw up. Here you go. And they gave it to them. And kind of like Pokemon Go, I think that movie was carried by the fact that it was a Pokemon movie. Because I feel like if it was any other kind of movie, it wouldn't have done that well. So I think that's part of it, but I don't want to get into that.
That's its whole other topic, you know? We have a whole other topic on it.
We did. We had a show about it.
Yeah, and we can have another, though, just about
exactly. Like, I think it's just like Pokemon Go. If Pokemon Go wasn't Pokemon and it was another game about catching creatures, I don't think it would do nearly as well. Not just because of the Pokemon brand, but just because it's a horrible game. Like, it's horribly coded. There's so many glitches in it. And they get away with it because it's Pokemon. So it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know if there's any other news other than like we said at the beginning of the show, Summer League is happening. So you can come to our Discord server, battle our gym leaders to try to get 8 badges so you can get into that Tournament of Champions at the end. And if you win that, you get a copy of Pokemon Sword or Pokemon Shield. Sounds exciting, right? Uber exciting. It should be. You should be excited, Shim.
Yeah.
You should be an excited boy.
It's a fun time.
It's a fun time. Come do it. Get some
overwhelming.
Puckle points. It'll be a good time. And it's just great. It's just great. Let's see then. I think that is it for the news. Otherwise, do watch out for the Pokemon Direct that's happening this week on June 5th. We are going to be covering it again next week on the show. I am very excited for that one because I think we're going to get some cool Sword and Shield news. Probably, at least, we're probably going to get the Legendary, probably some information about a professor. I'm looking forward to it. And then E3 is the week after that. So we're going to get some gameplay.
Lots of news
from E3.
Yeah.
And
I'm probably going to get to see a bunch of Pokemon finally.
We're probably going to see a few Pokemon at E3. I wouldn't be surprised if we learned about a couple of the Pokemon at E3. Just because the gameplay happens and on Route 1 you run into a couple of new Pokemon. They have to show you
a few things, I think, at least.
Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind. It's going to be really cool. I'm very excited for that. Other than that, though, I think that's it for the news, and we're going to kick it on over to Puckle's Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge. And welcome to Puckle's Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz your co-host on their Pokemon knowledge. So, of course, that means these kids can't use any internet, they can't use any lifelines except for the one hint they are allowed throughout the questions. They've got 5 questions worth 1 point apiece, except for that one that's worth 2 points if they get meet the criteria to get the second point. And if they get all the questions correct without using their lifeline, they can go ahead and cash that in for an extra point for a possible total of 7. They are in a battle against their fellow co-host in a race to 30 points. Whoever gets 30 points first wins a $20 credit to our Puckle Tea public store where they can go pick up a cool tapestry or some cool Pokemon art or a cool Pokemon t-shirt, whatever they want. Finally, this segment is brought to you by AnimeGravy.com, your one-stop shop for everything anime art-wise. So go check them out. They're wonderful. They sponsor us, and we just like them as people.
Great people.
Good people. All right. But without further ado, if you guys are ready, I will start asking you the questions.
I am ready.
This first question comes to you from Duly Noted on our Discord server. You too can drop trivia in there as well that we may ask on the show. So our first question is, which Pokemon's name, when translated from Swedish to English, literally means snot salmon?
Snorlax.
Well, I'm glad you knew that.
Because he's been posting in the Discord for
Why did he post it in the trivia then?
Talked about it in TCG and a bunch of other places. So
Dooley, you're ruining it. I blame Dooley.
I've already been aware of this. Yeah.
That is correct. The answer is, in fact, Snorlax. So that gives you a point because you pay attention to the Discord community, Shamu. It paid off this time. All right.
Yeah.
And question number 2. What Generation 4 Pokemon was usable in a Generation 3 game?
Are we only talking main series games, or is it going to be some super obscure game?
Any Pokemon game in Generation 3 in which they had the traditional Pokemon battle mechanics.
Okay.
Okay.
Say, like,
I was like,
dash. I'm like, no, it's not even that. But so Gen 3, that would be Fire Red, Leaf Green.
The RSE, you got... What was on the GameCube? It might be a
Colosseum
GameCube
and Gale of Darkness. I'm trying to remember if anything... Because I don't think it wasn't Ruby Sapphire Emerald, I don't believe.
Was Manaphy in any of these?
Manaphy was in Ranger. But
Manaphy's Gen 4, right? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Manaphy's Gen 4.
But, see, I always remember it as being like the cusp because it's in that one movie with May, who's Gen 3. So I'm like, oh, we bridging the divide.
Yeah.
They did that a lot. They used to do that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of what Gen 4 Pokemon it could have been. And I just don't even... I'm just trying to, like... Maybe Mr. Mime. I feel like it was like Munchlax or something. But then again... Because it probably was something in... Because we're trying to find out the Pokemon or the game again.
We're figuring out the Pokemon.
The Pokemon.
Yes.
Pokemon.
Okay, because fuck it, I lost my mind for a minute. I'm trying to remember what was in Gale of Darkness either.
I feel like Munchlax was a good guess.
Was it?
You said Munchlax.
I thought Munchlax, but was it Bonsai?
I was thinking, maybe it could be a baby Pokemon. I feel like Munchlax is more iconic.
Munchlax is more iconic, and they had the events for it more often. If
they were gonna like introduce something and be like, "Hey, Gen 4," I feel like they would choose Munchlax before Bonsai. Which is just a disappointment.
Because I know they had, like, events for Legends. I just don't believe it was them.
I'm going to need you to make a choice.
It's like Munchlax or Bonsai in my mind. I just don't know which.
I would choose Munchlax first, between the two.
Okay.
Watch me cost us the point.
It's alright. We'll go with Munchlax.
Munchlax is unfortunately incorrect. The answer is Bonsai.
No!
In Pokemon XD, you can actually go play this bingo game where you could select Bonsai as one of the Pokemon you can use during it, and you could actually battle with
bingo
Bonsai.
Game.
Yeah.
Oh, you can battle with it. I'm like...
It's actually really fun. Colosseum and, like, Gen 3 had some really fun stuff. The only thing is, it doesn't age well because it doesn't have the physical special split. Like, that's literally the only thing that prevents me from going back to those more consistently.
Although sometimes that's fun.
I do agree with that.
Sometimes not having the physical special split lets you do things you shouldn't be able to do.
Yes, that is true. All right, though. So you guys are 1 for 2. Our next question is a Pokedex question where I'll read you a Pokedex entry and you guys let me know who that Pokemon is. So this Pokedex entry is from Ultra Moon. So its Ultra Moon Pokedex entry reads, a relative of Shelder and Cloyster, this ocean dweller sometimes comes onto land in search of food.
That could be like anything.
I want to guess Pyukumuku.
Kind of.
What else would be like a relative? Let's think of things that would be related to Shelder and Cloyster.
Because also it's a Sun and Moon entry, so it's like you're very limited on what it can be. That like what cuts half the Pokemon out, I think, because not everything has a
it cuts out a lot of stuff. It had to be an Ultra Moon. Has to be able to get to the shore for food.
This is from Uncle Oshawott, by the way, so don't hate me.
See, when you say that makes it sound like it's more complicated.
Sounds like Gastrodon, honestly, because remember that being a thing there?
I can't see that being related.
I can't see it being related, though. Other than the fact that it's got, like, a soft shell and it's a slug.
I just love how they build, like, the world of Pokemon through those Pokedex entries in Gen 7, though.
Isn't it crazy? Yeah.
That's like Gen 7s
are probably the best. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. In terms of Pokedex entries building the world, yes. In terms of most other things, no.
Yes.
That first part of the question just throws me off so much. It's like, what's it? Like, what's like a Shelder and a Cloyster? Like, nothing.
Maybe something like part rock type?
Corsola wouldn't make sense, I don't think.
Corsola doesn't evolve, though.
Yeah. Fair. Should we either hint? I have no idea.
Let's go with Gastrodon. Why not?
I think I said that name right. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Gastrodon.
That's part water that evolves once.
Is correct. It is Gastrodon. You totally got that on your own. Good job, guys.
I don't see how... Well, I mean, he did say it. It is something that he said. Oh, okay, so...
Gastrodon is correct. It is a relative of Shelter and Cloyster, and it sometimes comes to land and search for food. All right, so this next question. This question actually has 7 answers, and in the original scheme of things, it would have been if you got 3, you'd get 1 point. If you got 6, you got 2 points, and the 7th one would be crazy, just bragging points. But because you've missed a question so far, you do get a chance at redemption. So if you get all 7, you'll get 3 points on this question. So
I like that.
Here we go.
What are the colors of the rainbow?
In Pokemon Black and White, it introduced a variety of new Pokemon, like over 150 of them. It's stupid high.
It's the biggest.
7 of them in particular do not have any egg moves. What are these 7 Pokemon evolutionary lines that do not have egg moves?
Well, it'll be Braviary and Rufflet because they're male only.
Yep. Buffon has a female.
So that's 2 of them.
Okay, genderless Pokemon now is a thing.
Evolutionary lines, that would count as one.
Oh, that only counts as 1.
Yeah.
Oh.
Evolutionary lines, yeah, unfortunately.
Does Dynamo, don't think Dynamo line has any actual egg moves. They've got 2 moves. I don't believe they have egg moves, though.
I think you're right, because they wanted Dynamo to be as insufferable as possible.
Yeah, so Dynamo has like 4 moves, I believe. I think it's what it gets.
Yeah, it gets 4 moves and that's it. So that makes sense. I like that as an answer a lot.
That's 2.
Stock and Throw could be female, and they get Quick Guard and stuff like that, I believe. Yeah, egg.
So, by evolutionary lines, we can't just answer with, like, the genies, I assume. Which are all male.
And by evolutionary
I would say, no, you cannot.
Like, what about this all-male, legendary trio?
I mean, those are technically correct, but I will say no.
Sure.
These are Pokemon that are capable of breeding that can't learn egg moves.
So, but by evolutionary line, are we also saying that they can evolve, or they can...
No, because they can have multiple Pokemon. Like, I will give you that Rufflet and Dynamo are both correct.
No, I just want to make sure if this is including, like, things like the stuff that does not evolve as well.
Yes.
You said evolutionary lines.
That's fine, yeah.
Okay. So it does include those. Okay. Because I'm trying to remember now. I can't remember if Sock and Throw are just male only now. I thought they weren't, but
if we run out of answers, those wouldn't be the worst suggestions as possibilities. Yeah.
Does Behem have a gender?
Yes. I feel like it does.
Okay. I'm just like...
I forgot that was a Pokemon.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure it does because back in Gen 5, that's like my back in Gen 4, but, Gen 5. It was the easiest Pokemon to get that had, that one ability that lets you dictate the nature when you catch something. Synchronize, right. So I bred a lot. So, yes, that has gender.
I believe Druddigon had egg... Golurk?
Golurk
does not
is a construct.
It's a construct. Don't believe it
that would make sense.
And you can't... It gets tutor moves. I don't believe it got egg moves.
That is 1 point. You guys are at 3.
That would make sense.
So you got... There are 4 more to choose from. You got 30 seconds.
Hard. Oh my gosh, stop.
This is one of those ones that you need more than them. We have...
You gave us a really complicated question out of, the biggest generation
Stop complaining
of Pokemon.
And get the answers.
I'm just saying, we're swimming through the waters, Does Stunfisk learn anything? It's just so useless. I could see it not learning anything.
No, I think it's stuff like Pain Split. That might be tutor only, too, but,
It's not Snivy.
I'm just trying to think. I'm just, running through stuff. I'm like, it's got gender. It's got something.
You do have the hint as well?
I think we should take the hint.
Yeah, I'm not really
worried about
that question.
All right, so you got the 3 that you got so far. The other ones, 2 of them are genderless, and then 2 of them are male only.
I feel like that's actually Sock and Throw.
I bet that's Sock and Throw.
And then, so one of them is one of them's a Steel type line, and another one's an Ice type line.
Cryogonal. Okay, that's 1. What's the...
Cryogonal is correct.
Kling Clang. There we go. There's the other... Wait, Kling Clang? Wait, did they get egg moves?
It's genderless.
No, doesn't get it.
That has to be genderless.
So now we've got 2 males.
Let's go with Sock and Throw.
I'm just trying to think if anything else could be male. I think it's what they are. I'm trying to think of anything else that could be male. The Buffalon's got both genders.
It has too much luscious hair to be genderless.
I think it's probably just sock and throw. I can't think.
Yeah,
of
let's just go with sock and throw.
Male,
I can't think of an all male
only.
anyway.
That is correct on all accounts. That's 3 points. You guys are once again 5 for 4 right now. So the answers are throw, sock, clink, dynamo, cragonal, golett, and rufflet. Just for those of you at home who could keep track. That is all 7 of them that are capable of breeding but do not have egg moves. So yeah, there you guys go. You got that. You guys are 5 for 4 right now. Let's see if you get point number 6. This is a base stat question as always. And because we're running out of highest base stats, I found lowest base stats. And this one might be easier for you. What electric type Pokemon has the lowest HP and physical defense of all electric type Pokemon?
I think it's Dynamo.
Let's just assume it's Dynamo.
I don't think that it could even be.
It could be Pichu, maybe?
I thought Pichu too, maybe. But I don't think Dynamo had like stats actually.
I feel like it has stats.
No, I'm pretty sure it's just like a squishy body that just kind of like
it just does things.
You accidentally like push it just dies.
All right. Is Dynamo your final answer?
Now I'm hesitant. Now I'm like, maybe it is Pichu because Pichu's real frail.
It is, but then again, I think Dynamo's like the sun current of electric types, except for like special attack. I think it's got some sun.
It's not Sunkern bad, I know that. I actually think it might be Pichu.
I'm okay with saying either.
Yeah, I think we should go with Pichu.
That's fine.
Pichu is correct. It has like a base 35 defense and HP, or it base like 30 HP. It's like super low. Dynamo is actually better. Dynamo's got base 35 HP and base 40 defense. So it's better.
Oh, so slightly better.
It's slightly better.
I assumed that
like, Dynamo's a good
Dynamo
second
had 40
place.
across the board, yeah.
You guys did pretty good though. You guys get yourselves 6 points with that. And I had the sheet up, but then I lost it. So bear with me for a second. But we did have the sheet up. I'm going to get to it so we can actually go ahead and award you the proper points. But that's 6 points today. That's pretty good for you guys.
It's really good.
That's actually really good. I'm proud of you. I'm sure that's what you were hoping that I would say. It does change up our leaderboard as well once I find Shamu's name.
I'm guessing it puts me in first.
It very well may. So in first place now we have Sublime with 13 points, followed up in second by Linian with 11 points. In third we've got Sigma with 9, followed up by Seth in fourth with 7 points. Dr. Shamu takes 5th place in his first appearance this cycle with 6 points, followed up by Basket and Snag tied for 6th. Basket, Snag, and Whimsicott tied for 6th with 4 points. And tied for 9th, we have Scrawn and Yushiro, both with 3 points. Everybody's on the board. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, so that is it for this segment of Puckle's Poke Quiz, and we'll be back at you next week with that, and we're going to kick things over, and we're going to talk about the topic after this short break. Welcome to the part of the show where if you guys make iTunes reviews, I read them. So we got a few of them this week, and I was actually really happy from them. So first up is from Pokemon Master Silver, and he writes a 5-star review. If you love Pokemon and everything that has to do with it, then you'll love this podcast. I discovered you all about a week ago, and I always listen to it at work, and it makes my day go by so much faster. Keep it up. Another one from Edward Sen. I remember you, Ed, way back in the day. Hey, Puckle Crew, it's been a long time since I've listened, maybe almost 6 years or so, but I'm hoping to get back into it in the near future. I remember back in the Thatch and Sycamore days, but keep going, Thatch. I'll be back to support you before you know it. Well, I look forward to it, Ed. And then finally from Varsity Vortex, after finishing my first podcast and getting back into Pokemon, I wanted to listen to a Pokemon podcast. I stumbled onto Puckle, and it's one of the best communities out there for Pokemon. I listen to it every minute I can while I'm driving, and the community and hosts behind it make Puckle what it is meant to be, an inclusive, friendly place for all kinds of Pokemon lovers. Listen to this podcast, especially if you like Little Cup, because it's the only thing Thatch can help you with competitively. Hashtag Roast Thatch. Well, thanks for that, guys. If you want your iTunes review spread on the show, or anywhere where you can review us on the show, go ahead, review us there. We really appreciate it. It helps people find us and helps us grow, just so we can do more cool Pokemon content and just create a really cool Pokemon community together. So we're going to kick it on over to the topic. And welcome to the topic. Our topic today is just going to be this Pokemon press conference. There was just a lot of stuff dropped. None of it like super exciting except for one thing, which we'll get to at the end, which is Pokemon Home, just because we have the most thoughts about that one. But I kind of wanted to knock everything else out of the way, just because I know that I have thoughts on some of these things. You guys can, of course, tell me I'm wrong, and I'm perfectly fine with that. The first thing that came out that I think we can all just kind of giggle at and chuckle with is Pokemon Sleep, which... So I have a lot of problems with this because, one, they didn't really describe like how it works. I don't know if it's just in the concept phase or what.
I believe it. I think it's the concept phase more or less because I think it's like, what, 2020 we're getting it?
Yeah, it's coming out in 2020. I'm just very confused because I understand that they want us to like sleep as if it's going to be something like, oh, if you sleep well, your Pokemon will level up, right? Like that's kind of like where I see it as like a base form. And I feel like if they would have mentioned that at the press conference, it kind of would have been a letdown. But I understand why they're just trying to hype it up. The only problem is, like, it totally, like, the logo totally looks like some kind of drugs logo that helps you go to sleep.
It really does. And I think that's fitting, right? Because it's Pokemon Sleep.
It really looks like an Ambien logo.
Very that. But you know what? I'm here for Pokemon promoting the importance of a good sleep. Good night of sleep. Very important for your health.
I just think it's really
Let's reward
weird.
That. Let's reward people getting enough sleep.
The only thing I'm super excited about, and this is just me being old at this point, I guess, is the poorly named Pokemon Go Plus, because it's got a gyroscope in it that'll like pay attention to how you sleep, right? And so like my phone has that, but I don't want to put my phone on my bed so that like I knock it off or something. You know what I mean?
Right. It goes on the nightstand. Hello.
Exactly.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. What world is this? And I like that I can just put like this piece of plastic on the bed and monitor that, because I do enjoy that. I do have like an app for this. That helps out, and it like measures your sleep cycles and everything, so that it can like wake you up with a natural alarm, like right in the right point of your sleep cycles.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
you'll have to tell them. Oh,
yes, yeah,
we're
it's
great. Old that
I love it though, because like it does work. Like I vouch for it. It does work. Like when I
believe in it.
When I use it, it actually wakes me up at the right time. It does take like a week or two to really set in, because you have to like get it to track your body and how you sleep, so that it can get a really good handle on your sleep cycles. But it's a really nice, I think it's just called Sleep Cycle, if I'm not mistaken. If you just like Google sleep or search on your app store Sleep Cycle alarm, I think it costs like $3, granted, but it's fantastic if you're trying to wake up at a certain time. It helps you out great. You just give it like a half-hour range, and it finds the half-hour range, that time in the half-hour range that's like perfect to wake you up in. It's fantastic.
Good sleep is priceless.
It really is. I'm not going to lie. And so, but yeah, Pokemon Sleep, I wish we got more about it. We don't have anything about it. So it's just what everybody's making the memes of, and I wish it would end, because there's only so many jokes we can make about it.
Yeah, I'm already sick of them.
Yeah. The other piece of news that I really wanted to go into was the Pokemon Masters game that they announced that they're working on with DNA, because I'm both excited and scared. Because one, I think it's a really cool concept. I think it's really cool that you can get trainers from the past and you can collect them essentially, and you can battle with them and stuff like that. My only problem is, like, I've seen other DNA games, and I think a good example of this is Fire Emblem Heroes, where it's become...
Is that a DNA game?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Let me double check, but I believe DNA made Fire Emblem Heroes.
I play Fire Emblem Heroes on the daily, so...
So the problem with that, though, is, like, the summoning the heroes, right? Yeah, it is DNA. DNA made Fire Emblem Heroes and Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. And the problem I have with that is just like the microtransaction market in that, because
you can play without.
You can.
Paying. You can. Let's be clear. It's a different experience completely, but it is doable, and plenty of people do that.
I agree with you. I just think for me, I will be really upset because I can't get like the trainers that I want.
Exactly. Everyone's going to have their favorite that they like, but I want this. And I'm like, but you don't get that.
Yeah.
And so then you're going to want to throw money at it. Mm-hmm.
If they give me different star rankings per trainer, as well as they do in Fire Emblem Heroes, I will also be very upset.
They will. You know they're gonna. It's gonna be a gotcha game essentially, where you're just gonna have to like.
The only good thing to come out of this for everyone is they'll probably make lots of really nice art of all of our favorite trainers.
That's true. That is true. We'll get some cool art, and during the summer there's going to be the bikini episode,
and then there's going to be the beach episode of Pokemon. Exactly.
Of Pokemon Masters. That's supposed to come out this year too.
Okay, can you imagine how much money they'll make? Just think about this. If they gave Cynthia a beach episode outfit.
Yeah. That's
like,
I don't know. I don't know if they'll do it with Pokemon like they do it with Fire Emblem. Like Fire Emblem, they're being really raunchy with it.
Anyway.
Really raunchy for like a Fire Emblem game. For a Nintendo game. For a Nintendo game. I should say that because like there's definitely moments that they censored in other Fire Emblem games for the West that's not censored it's censored in Japan.
Yeah,
so it's not super tame. I will say that in the Fire Emblem game.
It's not. It's not.
I don't know that they would do the same thing for Pokemon. I feel like Pokemon as a brand would be no, thank you.
No. Yeah. They will put, I guarantee you, 2 years in, you will have Cynthia in a swimsuit. Guaranteed. Because they're like, what will make the most money? It's an inevitability. And it is like, happen. It's the Thanos meme. It is inevitable.
It may very well happen. I would not doubt it.
This is going to be a scary thing, too, because with how they have it, there is PvP. I believe they talk about,
and that's what motivates people to spend.
And that's one thing too. So you're gonna have people who are spending money to be able to compete.
To compete in PvP.
That means power creep is gonna be a thing, even more so than other games that are like PvE or stuff like that. Like, this train is really good. It's a 5-star. It's a limited time only with Arceus. Yeah, we just did that. Why not? And they're gonna get so much money because people are gonna be like, oh, I didn't know this was coming. And so then that's what happens. With other games that are like separated, like via different like regions, you can kind of look at to one that came out before and see what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that Superior's on the cover. I'm happy.
Yeah. I'm just worried what's gonna happen with this.
It could get nasty. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
Let's not touch it and just appreciate all the nice pictures it gives us. Yes. Of our favorite characters.
I think that's probably where I'm going to land on it. Granted, I'm going to download it day one, and we're going to see what happens.
Not worth it.
What would be the cherry on top if they could do anything is if they made like small little like 30-second like anime clips like they did for the Black White 2 trailer. I feel like that would be pretty cool.
They do have little clips of people doing stuff. Like they showed what Brock doing.
Have you seen Brock?
Yeah.
That was pretty great to see. I'm like, okay, I'm
almost into it.
Must destroy my clothes. Yeah.
Yep. All right, so we'll just drop the Pokemon Masters thing there, say I'm very apprehensive, and move on.
Yeah.
So the biggest piece of news, so this is the piece of news that brought Puckle back from the grave in 2013. It's very similar to that, is the announcement for Pokemon Home, which is essentially the next stage in Pokemon Bank's life cycle. I enjoy this because Pokemon Home has become more than what Pokemon Bank would ever be. Pokemon Bank was just on your 3DS, could not go anywhere else. Pokemon Home, they've realized that Pokemon has become more than just the Switch games or the 3DS games.
Or any console game, rather.
Yeah, they've realized that Pokemon is just like this collaborative effort, and they want you to be able to take your Pokemon with you everywhere you go. And the idea is it's literally just creating like a home base for all of your Pokemon to be, which is kind of what Pokemon Bank was aiming for, but this is like next level. Because not only can you transfer from Pokemon Bank to Pokemon Home, this is a one-way transfer. I do want to say it's a one-way transfer from Pokemon Bank to Pokemon Home.
It's always a one-way transfer. This was something that happened in the Discord recently. I'm like, listen,
that's true.
If you are moving something from an older generation to something with a newer generation, it is going to be one-way.
One-way. It is one-way.
Like, straight up. Like, yes.
I agree with that because there have been complaints, especially in our Discord, just about like, oh man, my thing touched Gen 7, now it can't go back to Gen 6.
Like, of course it can.
Yeah,
like, I don't know why you're surprised.
Yep. What's also cool is Pokemon Go is going to connect to Pokemon Home. So like, that's the next level. I think that's really cool. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are going to connect to Pokemon Home, which makes sense because we're probably just going to...
That's what I'm most excited about. Because then we're going to have a lot of fun little things like Player of Arcanine will be meta.
Oh my gosh, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
All the things that have Outrage Beedrill, that's going to be a thing.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about the moves. Play Rough Arcanine is going to be exciting.
I'm excited just for the random TM thing that, like...
Play Rough Arcanine sounds amazing.
Pokemon Go, if there's anything that... I don't know if anything gets a weird move in Pokemon Go, but that'll be a thing that comes over now. Mm-hmm. I assume they'll keep their moves.
It depends on how the Pokemon Go thing works, if they do keep their moves or not when they come over.
Pokemon Go's the one thing we don't know how it's going to happen.
I don't know how they'll handle it for Pokemon Go. What's going to be really cool, though, like... I wish this would have existed when Pokemon Go first came out, but I understand why it couldn't. Because like back when Pokemon Go came out, like even my mom was like, "Hey, can I play Pokemon Go and then give you the Pokemon somehow?" And that was before trading existed or anything. And I was just like, no, there's not really. Maybe one day, blah blah blah. But this would have been something cool that like my mom could have been playing and like dumped it in Pokemon Home, you know, and it would have worked out really well. And I like it because the other thing that they mentioned was Pokemon Home's going to be on your cell phone. Obviously, you can have it on your cell phone as well, and so you can literally carry your storage box of Pokemon with you. And like, say you run into somebody else who plays Pokemon, and they're just like, "Hey,
you can trade.
You can trade on your phone."
The biggest deal.
I think
that's the biggest deal. The fact that you can trade your Pokemon on your phone.
Yeah,
that is a game changer.
That's
in my
huge.
mind. That is huge.
I love that concept because I don't know, like if you're just trying to honestly, if you're trying to convert, this sounds really bad because I'm sure there are people who will be like, that you're just being a Pokemon elitist. And I'm not being a Pokemon elitist here. I'm saying that the subset of people who play Pokemon Go and the subset of people who play the like console Pokemon games there's very little overlap there. The people who are hardcore Pokemon Go players. And I would say this would be the way to enter that, right? Like, say I go out and I go play Pokemon Go and there's people who were playing Sword and Shield and they're like, man, I really want to try to get into like competitive Pokemon on Sword and Shield. And they're having issues with it. And I'm like, well, I've got some competitive breed checks here that you can have.
Why don't you give me that shiny Ho-Oh in exchange? You have 7 of.
But I could just I could just pass them that, that would be great. I'd be totally fine with doing that. Just like being able to like walk around and pass out like breed checks and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of good merits here.
There really are. And they're unlimited. Even I wish this existed at the time for like internationals that's coming up. But unfortunately, this has a tentative release date of 2020, so get ready for please explain, please understand. Oh, you know what? I was real impatient back in 2013.
I was as well. I remember being really excited.
I feel like I'd be more patient this time.
I was just like, man, I can't wait for Bank to come out so I can transfer my stuff. Every generation, though, we have this. We always have to wait like 3 months now.
Yes.
And honestly, those are some of the best months, though, when it's untouched.
When it's untouched and you've got these really interesting metas that form as well.
Yeah, I think those are really cool.
I have to say, because in pre-bank Gen 7, there was a lot of fun stuff. It was a different game. Circuitry was good. And like there were just some fun Pokemon to play in pre-bank. I really do miss that.
Pre-bank Gen 6 was my favorite meta.
Pre-bank Gen 6 is okay. Yeah.
I love
that just takes me back to what year of VGC was it? I think it was 14, the year the year of the Pachirisu.
Yep.
That's a really, really fun meta.
Well, they had a really good national Pokedex in Gen 6 as well. Like, the 450 Pokemon that they selected for the Gen 6 meta was just really fantastic. Like, that was a really good list. I'm sure that wasn't the reason they selected it, but it just turned out to be good in that way. I think when you got to Sun and Moon, first of all, Sun and Moon's meta was limited by, it was like 2/3 the size, because the Sun and Moon games only included 300 Pokemon. And I think that was limiting in and of itself.
Also Tapus.
Gen 7 took all of the good that Gen 6 did and kind of just like threw it on the ground.
I'm okay with it because we needed more fairy types.
We did need more fairy types. The problem is, I think what fighting and dragon types were back in Gen 5. Fairy type has become, I think. Not to the same extent. I would say they're not as bad, but I would say to an extent it has become that. It's become that bad.
Yeah.
I don't
Kinda.
think because like you could see a lot of teams. I think every team runs a fairy type now, to some degree, and maybe even a little bit more. I mean, you maybe even 2 fairy types on a team.
I don't even know. I don't know. I'd be curious to see the data on that.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is a lot of the bigger fairy, like you have the Tapus, which is probably just be the Tapus themselves, right?
Yeah, it would be. Like
it's just
80%, I think.
The Tapus, and then it's like Tapus and then fairy steel types. That's what it is.
Yeah, it is. I was like Tapus and Magearna.
Tapus, Magearna, and Mega Mile. Like, that's what it is. And I think fairy steel type is probably the reason I hate it more than anything, to be completely honest with you.
I love that type so much, though.
Oh, well, it's so good because...
Don't we all, though? But it's because it's too good. I get it.
Well, it's because you get fairy type for free, essentially, on those, right? That's like Rotom getting electric type for free. And I think that's the bigger problem, is that you have Magearna, who's just like a really good Pokemon with that free fairy type, which is also
you get
a really
all the
type.
good stuff without any of the bad stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Because like you're immune to poison and you're neutral to steel at that point, but you're a Magearna, and steel types always have giant defense stats. And it doesn't matter, which is, I don't know. It's just frustrating to me, I guess, is that's the problem. Maybe it's just Magearna. Maybe I'm just mad at Magearna.
I think it's just Magearna.
Well, you know what? I would not be surprised if we see some more answers to fairy types in Sword and Shield.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we just saw a huge number of steel types in Sword and Shield.
Yeah, it makes sense for them to be like, right?
Yeah, I would be, because it's called Sword and Shield, right?
Exactly. It makes sense for that to be an opportunity for them to maybe try and balance that. Because that is something they do. They try to do in their own way.
They do it. I mean, it's definitely something they think about, because all I remember, I said this last week too, all I remember is watching the Sun and Moon trailers when we were getting all of the drops for Sun and Moon, and seeing every ability that stops priority moves, and then finding out that Gale Wings got nerfed. I'm like, wow, they really just wanted to put Talonflame in the ground.
Well, I think Gale Wings getting nerfed in and of itself just says everything.
I think that was enough, but then you got Queenly Majesty.
Also Parental Bond.
Parental Bond did get nerfed, which was, it was good.
Necessary.
It was definitely necessary. I don't know if it's the best nerf yet. But I mean, it's okay. Yeah.
It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it was a step in the right direction. Parental Bond definitely used to be far worse. Yeah.
They take steps in the right direction.
I'm really excited for this, though. Like, Home is just like a really big opportunity.
It's a really big game changer. And I feel like at this point, they have a really good, like, selection of things that can access Pokemon Home.
Yeah.
That connect basically all Pokemon players. You have your Pokemon Go people.
Yeah.
And it kind of like serves as the perfect opportunity for people to go from one end of the scale to the other, right? Because we've eased them in with Pokemon Go and then Let's Go, and then Pokemon Home is going to connect them both with their Pokemon Sword and Shield if they were to ever use it.
Bring those guys home.
Yeah, it's just exactly. So I feel like this is the perfect lineup of things that connect to it. They've achieved like the pinnacle.
It should be noted that
they
like,
needed to.
In their announcement for it, the only Pokemon game that looks like it can go back and forth to Pokemon Go or Pokemon Home is Sword and Shield,
which makes sense.
So you can't go back to Go.
Which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all you need to do is just have like another Meltan type thing that happens when you connect to Pokemon Go and Pokemon Go, and I think everybody's happy. Especially since we don't have an in-game way to evolve Meltan yet either. That's another thing.
That'll probably come in Sword and Shield, though.
I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah. You think the only way to get Melmetal is going to be in Pogo?
I honestly wouldn't be surprised. I will be upset if that happens. I would not be surprised, though.
Huh. That'd be interesting. The only thing that would have set me is like, okay, so you know how when you're transferring from like the virtual consoles, Gold and Silver, legendary Pokemon, you can kind of manipulate their nature.
Yeah, you absolutely can manipulate.
Right, exactly. Like you can just decide this is the nature. Let me get to this exact experience.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm hoping if that's the only way to do it, there is a way to determine your Melmetal's nature, because otherwise,
well, we already have that.
Unacceptable.
We already have that to an extent, right?
Do we?
Yeah, well, because you can transfer it to Let's Go already, and Let's Go has natures.
Okay.
Let's Go is a full Pokemon game in that.
Yeah,
in that
but
regard.
Can you control the nature you're getting when you transfer
Nope,
it to Let's
it's
Go?
all random.
See, that's my problem.
It's a dice roll. It's a
but
dice
you have
roll.
an easy way to farm it that way, though, too, because you can just open the box and just kind of catch a couple.
Just
and
go
then
catch
just
some,
transfer.
But if that's the only way to evolve it, you can't just catch a couple. Right? Because if you transfer it, it isn't evolved, and it's a commitment to get the evolution.
It's most likely going to be something, I feel like it's going to be something like Zygarde, where it's like, hey, collect these things, but more like, hey, catch a couple Meltan, we'll just fuse them together for you.
That's what I could see that happen too.
That, or it's just
that would
it's
make
just like
sense.
a level 50 or higher thing, because honestly, it does look like a Pokemon that's kind of like Volcarona in a sense. Like, it's...
Yeah, I'm just not...
It seems to be like a pseudo-ish legendary that's like a late game thing that's got a higher evolution thing, like higher level evolution.
I just don't feel good about them leaving Meltan as like a Pokemon Go heavy Pokemon.
Yeah,
I don't feel good about that. I'm okay with them introducing it that way. I'm not okay with them keeping it that way.
But I don't think it will be either, because if we remember when it was like such a mind-boggling thing that they released it at all, it was like the first Gen 8 Pokemon, so it makes sense that I think they will do more with it.
It's not Gen 8. It's not Gen 8. It's not Gen 8.
It's not.
It's not. It's Gen 7.
What's its dex number? Is it really?
It's Gen 7. It's confirmed Gen 7. It's got all the same index numbers in the code as a Gen 7 Pokemon. It is not Gen 8 Pokemon. Also, it's not like the Gen 8 Mew or anything.
So it's like not Deoxys really, but like
it's more like
they tacked on.
It's more like Arceus. It's more like Arceus. I mean, there's literally no precedent for this. I mean, if you're trying to draw patterns, there's no pattern. Because Gen 7, they just started doing a lot of crazy stuff. Like we got the Pokemon mid-generation, like Blacephalon, Stack Attack, Zeraora, and so this is just another one of those things that was just tacked into Pokemon Go to really push for the Let's Go hype.
It's so weird to think of it as a Gen 7 Pokemon, though. Because
it is Gen 7, though. It is Gen 7.
Like, divorced completely from the Gen 7 games.
So, technically, Let's Go is a Gen 7 game.
It
is a generation. It is a generation.
It cannot play any other Gen 7 Pokemon, so...
It can do Alolan forms.
Which are not Gen 7 dex numbers, so... Yeah, those are Gen 1.
They were introduced in Gen 7. That's the only thing.
Yeah, but they're Gen 1 Pokemon.
They are Gen 1 Pokemon, yes. But it is a Gen 7 game.
That's very weirdly divorced.
This, I guess, generation of games is just really wonky.
Gen 7 got really weird because they tried a lot of crazy stuff with it.
I think that's a good summary of Gen 7. Wonky.
Yeah, Gen 7 was wonky. I hope that it's fine-tuned in Gen 8. Because, I'm sure we're going to get, a Pokemon Go type deal with it. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if, they release Gen 8 Pokemon now, in Pokemon Go, and just skipped, Gen 5.
They should. That'd be very smart.
I wouldn't be surprised. Just to build hype for Sword and Shield. Or just maybe drop a couple more Gen 8 Pokemon in at the same time. I don't know. We'll see, though. We'll see. Missed opportunities all around.
I guess on a side note, too, with your whole Gearness thing earlier, at least Melmetal will kind of counter that.
That's true. Well, we will have Melmetal.
Just have an Assault Vest on that with 135 base.
That is true. I keep forgetting that Melmetal is not really in our meta.
Yeah.
He's not really in our meta.
We don't have that big, bulky steel type.
He's going to get banned.
Honestly, yeah. No,
intrigued.
With
we'll see.
100, it's 600 base total still. It's essentially the steel type Buzzwole with better stats and the
and he
HP attack and defense instead of speed.
Mm-hmm. He'll probably get banned. Oh well.
I think it will.
That's where we'll end it, and we'll kick it on over to our Pokemon of the episode. So we will catch you guys on the flip flop. Hey everyone. If you want to help support the show, a great way to do so is by going to the Puckle T public store and buying one of the many designs. PuckleCon's coming up, so make sure you grab your PuckleCon t-shirt. If not, you could get some love at this with the Team Snore shirt, so you can get ready for Pokemon Sleep by wearing this awesome Snorlax design. It's actually really cute. That would be really good on a pillow, actually, now that I think about it. There's also Slowbro Surfing Company, which I think is also an amazing design. You can just go there, buy anything. I think the Prepare for Trouble tournament logo is fantastic as well. So if you could just go over there, support the show, grab yourself a t-shirt, a tapestry, a tote bag. Tote bags are weird, but something that you can get logos on. Unfortunately, we don't have the phone cases because it doesn't look good. But you can do that. Tote, pillow, tapestry, notebook, so you can take your notes on it for school, for those summer classes you're taking, or wear a tank top so that you can, be cool in the summertime. But yeah, there you guys go. Go check out the Puckle T public store. Help us out. All the money goes to helping the podcast and just getting us to do cool stuff. So, without further ado, we are going to switch things over to the Pokemon of the episode.
Poke of the episode.
And welcome to the Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 143, Snorlax, the sleeping Pokemon. Its Ruby entry says, Snorlax's typical day consists of nothing more than eating and sleeping. It's such a docile Pokemon that there are children who use his expansive belly as a place to play. Alright, so Snorlax is a fantastic Pokemon. I'm a big fan of it. It gets the thick fat ability, making it worthwhile, as well as the gluttony ability, so if you really want to jump on those berries, you can get it. I mean, I'm a fan all around. So we decided to put together a team for you of Snorlax, And we'll start breaking it down. So our first Pokemon this week is obviously Snorlax, the lead man of the team. And so we're running pretty standard Curslax for RU. This team is all going to be RU for you guys at home. If you want to run a team similar to this, you guys can just take this team that we're suggesting. Snorlax with RU, or in RU, can Curslax has been around since like the dawn of time, I swear to God. And it's just a pretty standard Snorlax set.
Tried and true.
Yeah, tried and true. So Curse, Frustration, if you want to run Frustration or Return, it doesn't matter. You can also run Body Slam if you want to try to get the Paralysis chance there as well.
Although, against a Snorlax, you're still being outsped, probably.
Probably.
Especially a Curselax, right?
You get the 25% chance of Paralysis, you know?
Yes, which is more relevant.
Which is probably the more relevant. Rest, so you can heal up. And then he also gets Earthquake. You could also slap Sleep Talk in that slot, but you should probably run Earthquake. He does also get high horsepower, which is notable.
No, you need Earthquake because you don't want to be walled by ghosts.
Walled by ghosts, exactly. And yeah, run Leftovers, Thick Fat, so you soak up all of those yummy ice and fire type moves. And we're running a Careful Nature here, 188 HP, 128 defense, and 192 special defense. And the reason that we're running most of these, the defense EVs avoid a 2-hit KO from Choice Specs Gardevoir Psyshock. The special defense investment also allows Snorlax to wall and check Nidoqueen, Florges, and Rotom Cut. Or Rotom-Mow, I should say, not Rotom Cut. And yeah, Thick Fat just lets it eat up everything else. So it does really well with those. HP was literally just what's left over from those specs.
And because the purpose is to like set up with Curse, you don't need offense investment. Like, you're gonna get it.
You'll get it. Absolutely. I just love Curselax. It's great. It's a good mon to run. And we were looking at things to throw on with it. None of the team options actually seemed fun. which sounds like a really mean thing to say, but
we made a team we think is more fun. That's all there you have to say.
I think the synergy is. I think the next person that I think has the best synergy with him is Alolan Marowak, which we're running here. And Alolan Marowak has 212 HP, 252 attack, and 44 speed, and it's Adamant Nature.
Thatch, why are we running 44 speed?
Because you can outrun Registeel and that other thing that's in that tier.
Base 50, uninvested. Oh,
yep.
So good to know. Thanks, Thatch.
It is good to know. I was good and actually tried to study that this week. Before we started recording. So it's Flare Blitz, Shadow Bone, Swords Dance, Low Kick. I think EQ is probably better. EQ or Bone Meringue, whichever one you feel. I think that's better than Low Kick in this scenario.
Low Kick also deals with stuff like Snorlax.
He's also holding Thick Club, and he's got the Rock Head ability so that he can Flare Blitz at will.
Guys, I actually see this Marowak actually just counters just Snorlax itself with Swords Dance and Low Kick.
It does. It really does. Yeah.
But it's also just delicious for, like, eating any fighting attacks that would be going to your Snorlax.
Yeah, fighting attacks that go towards your Snorlax, and it does really well. And so I'll let you go, Sublime, and you can pick two of the other ones that you liked.
Okay, well, you know what is, I think, near and dear to all of our hearts is a certain mon that uses Hydro Pumps to punch you with its fists.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? And that would be Mega Blastoise.
I still never got that, by the way. And I'm a little upset.
I'm sorry. Wait, didn't you get it in Pokken? It punches them with its big finisher, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure that happened.
No, it doesn't. It like slams it into the ground, I think. I don't know. I don't play Pokken a lot.
Yeah, I haven't in a while either. Anyway, Mega Blastoise, we're going to run Timid, because there's a lot of stuff in that mid-range of speed in this tier. 4 defense, 252 special attack, 252 speed. This is a spinner, or it's nice to have a spinner. So we got a spinner in Mega Blastoise. And then we're going to be running Water Pulse. You can change it to Hydro Pump. You know, do you want accuracy, or do you want extra power?
Is it that much more power with Mega Launcher?
But Water Pulse is fun because you have a 30% chance for confusion, so we thought that'd be fun. It's fun.
It is fun.
And then we also have Aura Sphere and Ice Beam for coverage. Aura Sphere, of course, is getting that delicious boost from the ability Mega Launcher.
Yeah.
As is Water Pulse, which is why it's quite viable. So you've got a water type. We're contributing to a Fire Water Grass Core with the Mega Blastoise and the Alolan Marowak. So then we're going to round off that Fire Water Grass Core with Virizion, which gives some speed to this team with its 108 base speed stat. We're running it Jolly, of course. You just straight up, it's a generic Virizion. You do 252 speed, 252 attack. You go for the Swords Dance because 90 attack is not cutting it without a boost. But with the Swords Dance, now you're talking. Yeah, you're running Leaf Blade, Close Combat, and Stone Edge.
With Grassy MZ. Though I think I would honestly, on this team, I
would suggest Rocky MZ.
Yeah, I played like half a match, and I think Rocky MZ would be better.
Yeah, Rocky MZ is really nice because you can nail a lot of checks.
Yeah, other than that, Shamu, take us home.
Also with that Virizion, though, you have some synergy with that in Marowak. For example, they go for a Dark type.
Oh, yeah, right?
Just go right to Virizion if you can.
That's really good.
You have the Z-Crystal, so you won't lose it if they knock off. And you get the attack boost from Justify.
Yeah, and it's part of your Fire, Water, Grass core, so there's already all that synergy. But then they have even more synergy.
It's so great. The synergy is just synergied.
It's synergism. It's giving you all the synergism.
Take us home with these last two, Shamu.
And for our Stealth Rocker, we have a Nidoqueen with holding a Life Orb with Sheer Force.
Of course.
With max special attack, max speed, with a timid nature. And we've got Stealth Rock, Earth Power, and Ice Beam for stab and coverage, and Toxic to help out with hitting those things that we can't really whittle down otherwise.
Sometimes you got a Toxic.
Sometimes you got Toxic.
And it's 100% accurate coming from Nidoqueen.
Because the poison type.
Yeah, honestly, because if you ever miss a Toxic, you feel so bad.
You do.
It matters half the time, too, which is unfortunate.
Right? Because that extra turn of Toxic just would have helped a ton. It's just awful.
And then for our last member, we have a Yanmega with a Choice Specs and Tinted Lens as its ability. We are running a Timid Nature with max special attack and speed investment. And we are running Bug Buzz, Air Slash, U-Turn, and Giga Drain. Dual stab, able to butch out if need be with U-turn, and then Giga Drain for coverage.
Tinted Lens Choice Spec,
Even if you resist, you don't really resist effectively.
Tears stuff
Even
up.
if you resist, you don't really resist.
Resistance is futile.
Oh, that was the quote of the day right there. Oh, yeah, no, I mean, Yanmega's great. I love Yanmega. We found our Sinnoh Stone and we evolved our Yanma. That's a Pokemon Go joke. I'm being inclusive.
Yanma has 3 A's.
Yanma, it's the
Yanma.
It's the baby form.
Yanma.
They're gonna introduce it in Gen 8.
It's
Yanma.
just like a little egg with wings.
You get the middle evolution. You now have 2 stage turned into a 3 stage. Doesn't happen halfway.
Oh god, that's hilarious.
I just want Mega Yanmega, so it has Mega in the name twice.
Mega Yanmega?
Mega.
Yeah.
That would be, I don't know.
Give it to me, Pokemon.
I don't know what that would look like if Pokemon fusions ever existed in Pokemon, which they definitely won't because that's stupid.
Meganium and Yanmega. Is that what you were going with? Because that's what I want.
That would be good. I was thinking
Mega.
I was thinking more like Flygon and Yanmega, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're both very, yeah.
I was just like just cut out like the last part of their name, whatever, Mega in it, and just like either put that to the front or just put a hyphen between that and the rest of their name.
Well, if you get the fusion between Meganium and Yanmega and then Mega Evolve, you have Mega.
Mega.
Meganium.
No, you just take the Mega part from Meganium.
Drop the Yan, yeah, because you're fusing them,
I think he missed the joke. It's okay.
It's okay. Someone got it.
Mega Eania Mega.
If anything, I got it. It's fine. All right, well, this is where we'll probably end it. If you want to get a shiny Snorlax, we'll be giving those away on the GTS to our patrons. You go over to patreon.com/PucklePodcast to pick one of those guys up. We'll post it to the Patreon how to get that. So without further ado, though, this is where we're going to leave Shamu and Sublime, unfortunately, today, though, because we're going to kick it on over to A Week Ago Me, where I interviewed John Stone on the podcast, and it was actually a great interview. So we're going to cue that up. But thanks to both of you for being here today. It's appreciated. And
you're appreciated.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's your closing time. Let's kick it on over to that interview. Puckle presents a special interview. And welcome to another Puckle interview. I have with me this week John Stone, the YouTuber. So welcome to John Stone. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm super excited. And so, first of all, just to let everybody know who you are and what you do, I'm sure you can say a better spiel than I ever could about yourself. So if you would go ahead and just introduce yourself, for those of you who don't know you.
My name is John. I also go by John Stone on YouTube. I am primarily a Pokemon YouTube content creator. I also have been kind of expanding onto Twitch and stuff like that. I'm also active on social medias like Twitter and whatnot. But primarily I do kind of really I guess out there Pokemon videos. I try and like break the boundaries of what's current right now, and that's just kind of what I do. I like challenge videos and things of that sort.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. I love it. I love these videos, and we're gonna get more into it later. But
okay.
So first of all, I do this to everybody who's on the show, and I'm gonna go through and I'm just gonna like fire off some questions at you, answer them as fast as you can, or just without thinking, because we're gonna learn a lot about you and like what you think about Pokemon.
Okay, perfect.
Quickly. Okay, so very easy question. Favorite Pokemon?
Darkrai.
First Pokemon game?
Emerald.
Favorite Pokemon game?
Diamond, Pearl.
Okay, that's a good choice. And then favorite Pokemon spin-off game?
Oh, Battle Revolution?
That's also an interesting choice. Man, Gen 4 all the way, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much.
Okay, so favorite gym leader / trial captain?
Oh boy. Wow, that's
these get progressively harder. Yeah.
I would say Koga.
That's also not a bad choice. Favorite region?
Sinnoh. You're gonna see a trend here.
Yeah. No, this is perfect. This is a joke in the community. So what Pokemon from that region do you absolutely need to have on your team if you go back to replay that game?
From that region, like a Sinnoh Pokemon or just any Pokemon? From
any Pokemon in Diamond and Pearl, let's say that.
Oh boy, I would say Crobat.
Okay. Okay, so now this one's hard. Favorite TM? Yeah.
There's not one I'm like gunning for when I'm playing, but I would say like maybe like Sludge Bomb.
Sludge Bomb. Okay. Okay. Final one. Sobble, Scorbunny, or Grookey?
Oh, Grookey Gang for life.
Oh man,
you kidding?
My wife would be so happy. All right. Okay. So that's it. We've learned a lot about you. So the Gen 4 thing. Let's take a minute and talk about that.
I am. Yes, I love those games so much. So yeah, absolutely.
I'm surprised you started with Emerald, honestly.
So yeah, it's kind of, so I technically, I mean, if we're just talking about like playing the Pokemon games, Emerald was the first one that I played. But when I got into Pokemon, I was probably 3 or as much as a 3-year-old can be into Pokemon.
Okay.
You know, I had my mom's coworker, her son gave me all of his Pokemon stuff when he got older. He just kind of, this is around the time when I guess the fad was dying out in our side of the world. So, or like the explosion at least of that fad. So, he gave me all of his stuff and I immediately was hooked. And my parents weren't very crazy about video games. So I had to do a lot of convincing to get them to buy me a copy. I remember it was, I got it on my 10th birthday. So,
okay.
That's
pretty
how it works.
Momentous. Yeah.
I guess. Just open the floodgates to all of that. So yeah.
Do I know that from? I remember when I got my first game, it was like, it was blue version. And I just remember like, that was back in the day. That was like the second video game I think I ever bought. And I just remember that was back in the day, like when I used to just pick video games based off like the box art.
Okay.
And so I was just like, this one looks cool, and I bought it. And who would have known? Like now I'm here.
Exactly.
But that's interesting. That's really cool. So let's jump into YouTube. First of all, you just hit 100,000 subs this week, and
I did.
I'd like to congratulate you on that.
Thank you.
That's a big achievement. Do you have anything planned?
So I did a live stream on Twitch. So it was like a 100K countdown or count up. And so I started when I was like, I don't know, 100 subs away. So like if I was, not getting too cocky and waiting there for 5 hours for it to turn around, just like, it'll happen soon, I promise. So, I did a stream for that, and that, it had a really great turnout. It was realistically the first Twitch stream that I had, and we almost had a consistent 100 viewers throughout it was like 3 hours. So I was blown away by how many people came out. So if anybody's listening, I appreciate greatly, not just for, subscribing, interacting on YouTube, but also just for showing up to that stream. That meant an immense amount to me that you guys even, took the time to do that. So
no, that's really big numbers to be pulling. Wow. For 3 hours. Like first time on Twitch, just pull 100 viewers. That's big.
I spent probably a month like making layouts and everything. I was like, this has to be, I cannot embarrass myself. I did, but not as much as I expected I was. So
man, I always stress out like when doing Twitch. It's just like, man, I gotta do this layout, gotta make it look nice. I don't think I've achieved that yet. Like I've gone through like 5 or 6 layouts, and every time I'm just like, this would be nice to have. This would be nice to have.
Exactly.
It's just never the same.
I look online, like after I get, I try and get inspiration of some sort, not like, you know, I look online and see, you know, just what my other content creator friends are making for layouts. I'm like, oh, that's a really cool idea. They should do that. And I try and implement that. And once I'm done, I realize that it's garbage. I was like, you know what? I probably should pay someone to do this for me. But yeah, it's just that, I don't know. That part of me is like, I just don't want to do that. I want to like say that I did it myself, but
right.
You know,
right. Well, you're also probably, do you edit your own videos?
Yeah, I don't think anyone would want to. I can't think, because I think that the rate, usually the standard rate is like $15 an hour to edit. And I mean, I'm sure we'll get into this at some point, but it's usually, depending on the video, it can be 10, 20 hours to like sit down and edit a video. And would be a lot of a lot of money. Wow. I think some people would give up halfway through. So I don't, entertain that at all.
Yeah, no, but I mean, that's still cool. I mean, I understand wanting to do that. I do that myself with the podcast until very recently.
Really?
I finally just like started to like let it go. I still edit like portions of it, but I'll like it's mostly like a team of people that are helping me edit it now, and it's just like I feel a piece of me leaving, but at the same time, like there's this kind of sense of relief.
Yeah, it's a huge burden off your back because you spend all that time. I mean, I'm assuming you spend at least. What, 3 hours editing?
If it's a full show, it's probably something on the order of like 4 to 5 hours on an episode, something like that. And that's like every week, I mean, that's you gotta keep it churning out.
That's almost a whole work day that you're spending on that. So I can definitely relate to that. So,
me too. Well, good that we're in good company then. So outside of just editing the videos, how long does it typically take to do some of your crazy challenges? Because you have like crazy stuff that you're doing. I guess you talk about it in the videos, but
yeah,
like from planning process to doing it, like how long would that take it?
So the planning process is really the easiest part. So there was one day I just sat down and I said, you know what, I need to this is when I was around, I would say like 10,000 subs. I don't know what that number was, but it really set into me. I was like, okay, this is an opportunity and I really don't want to waste it. So let's just really crack down and try and take this as professionally as I possibly can. And you can kind of tell the shift of my content during that time. You're like, okay, that's when you hit 10,000 subs. It's like, oh, all these videos are completely different. But I tried to, I sat down and it was maybe an hour. I wrote down anything that popped into my head that I would be interested in making a video for. And through that 1 hour, I came up with, it was something like 65, 70 ideas. And it wasn't something that was a loose, oh, I could maybe do that. It was I know enough about this and I could, spend a little bit of time, 3 or 4 hours researching, that I could put out something that I'm, not only proud of, but it's something that's unique. And that made everything way easier. And I still use that list today. I mean, I've made barely a dent in that list.
That's
so
great. That's good news.
And I always kind of churn ideas through the day. I sometimes I think of something, or I get a comment suggestion. Some of them are, most of the comment sections is a little ridiculous, like catching every shiny in 24 hours, which I don't think that's too obtainable. But it's there are definitely some really good ones that I've taken inspiration from. But so yeah, that part's really easy. But when it comes to planning out the videos, it depends really on the video, which is it's hard for me to explain it really, because almost every single video that I do, except for the ones that are sequential, they go through each generation or each game. It's hard to go over exactly how the process works. But to give you an example, I guess the most. Let's see. I would say the one that most people know me from is probably the the Catch 'em All challenges, because I've had the most of those. So I would assume. I mean, Professor Oak is kind of up there, but in comparison, I would say the Catch 'em Alls are probably the main attraction on my channel. And so how that works is I will put down. I'll make a Google Sheets spreadsheet, and I will go through, I will make a list of all the Pokemon from that generation. Then I'll have to sort by each game. So for example, the most recent one did Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. And then I did the encounters if they're available for every single game. And then what I did from there is I went through and I tried to portion them. I used to divide the amount by 3. So there was 107 in Pokemon in Sinnoh. So I divided that by 3 as best I could, and, you know, tried to find which Pokemon were better for which game, you know, which ones are only available in some games and which items are more convenient to get. And that process is, I'm not going to beat around the bush. It's not very fun because there's no right way to do it, but there's you know, as long as you're not like, I don't know, just putting like 2 starters on one game, like obviously that wouldn't make sense at all to do. But, you know, there are definitely Pokemon that are much better in one game than they are in the other. So it's just, you kind of have to do a lot of research, but I've definitely been getting better at specifically those videos, which I'll explain in a little bit, but those usually take, I would say, 3 hours to just like kind of piece that whole section together. And then I kind of go over items as well, and, you know, some TMs that might be necessary. And I use a lot of like speedrun guides to try and figure that stuff out, which is super helpful, because there are some things I wouldn't even consider, you know, like, using like I did the gold and silver catch 'em all, and there's a skip that you can do if you don't heal all the way up to Goldenrod City, and you can get an Aber from the game corner. You can teleport and you can skip a whole 4 routes doing that, and that saves an insane amount of time because you had to, you know, bike all the way back around through to get there, to get to like Azalea Town and stuff like that. But if you teleport with Aber, you can just bike, you know, back over to where the Sudowoodo tree is, and you can skip all of that section, which, you know, that's something I would never even in, you know, my wildest dreams think of being an optimal thing to do. So, but, you know, stuff like that is, that's why I really like using those, because it's just, you know, people know way more than I do. I mean, some people think that I know a lot, but I do take a lot from, you know, resources that are around. I try my best to link those, obviously, for, you know, give credit where credit's due. But, and then when it comes to time to doing stuff like editing, doing the script is also kind of difficult because it depends on the video. There's some that I can just plan the script out right then and there and be like, all right, well, I'll just record the next day, edit the next day, send out the video. But stuff like the Professor Oak challenge and the Catch 'em All videos you can't really do that. You have to play through the game or games, and then you have to make the script, and you kind of have to, I'm going to go off in a little bit of a tangent just for a second, just because it's best to explain it this way. So initially, for the red and blue and gold and silver Catch 'em All videos that I did, and I feel like I'm like not explaining what they are. So the Catch 'em All videos, what I would do is I would play each version of a generation. So I'd play, for example, like red, blue, and yellow, and I would try and catch every single Pokemon from that region, or at least the Pokemon that was introduced into that region. So I'd catch every Kanto Pokemon, every Johto, every Hoenn, Sinnoh, and soon to be Unova when the time comes. But I would try to do that in 24 hours. And some games are easy, some games are really hard, and you have to learn a lot of strategies and tactics. But when it comes to actually scripting those videos, what I did is I've learned that timestamps are a thing.
Yes.
And so when I did the red and blue and gold and silver videos, I didn't do that. And what I did, and it makes me so mad that I'm saying this now, but what I did is I would put the clips into Premiere. So I would put all 3 games, and I would sit down and I would watch. I mean, not exactly watch, but I would essentially watch from start to finish all 3 games playing at the same time, and I would note down when the special events happened. Which is not fun because you're sitting there for about 6 hours.
Yeah.
Just knowing, be like, yeah, okay, so this happens then, and then this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and then you have some mess of a script at some point. But I started using timestamps, and that made everything so much easier. So I can note, be like, all right, well, this time frame, I did these 3 things, but then right after that, or during that moment, this other game did this. So that made saved me a lot of time in the process of making those videos. So that was you learn very quickly that that's not a good idea.
I think that's everybody's, as a content creator, I feel like that's something that everybody goes through. Like if I look back on the first time like I edited a podcast or I edited a video or something like that, I did it so inefficiently compared to the way I do it now. And there's just like always a learning process, and it's something that I don't know. Nobody's teaching a course on like how to use Premiere or how to use Audacity, and
definitely not.
And so like those don't exist. And you just have to learn by doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, the final step of that obviously is just editing the video together, which in my opinion is, now that I have, with the timestamps and, I have all of my recording really set up and it's optimal. It's in the best quality that I can possibly make it. It makes it relatively easy. It's definitely easier than it used to be. It's not, it's not a walk in the park by any means, but, cause you can do you use Premiere?
Occasionally.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Because I mean, it doesn't really matter what the video program is, but I believe that you can set like markers on each clip.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I do is I set a marker and then it like shows up in my timeline, so I can just cut at that moment and be like, all right, well, this is the next part of the video. And I just put it in. It's like, all right, well, here's the next marker from the other game. And I put it in, and it just makes it way faster than just having to look over everything. But that's obviously the longest portion, but I think that that's the most enjoyable because I can put in little things like the corny jokes that I throw in here and there and stuff like that. It adds, I love making videos, and I did, I took classes in high school for video editing and stuff like Photoshop. So I was really passionate about that. I didn't do that once I got out of high school, but that's obviously like a really great tool that I had that kind of pushed me to make more content wise. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I did the same thing. I did a bunch of Photoshop stuff in high school. And I mean, that helps a lot with like our graphics and everything, and and making layouts. Back to exactly. Yeah, definitely.
So I completely understand.
Yeah, but for, in total, depending on the videos, I would say, I definitely don't spend an entire week, which I think that a lot of people assume that, because I try to upload weekly, but it usually doesn't work out because throughout all of those processes, something has to go wrong every single time. And I think that's every content creator can totally agree with that. There's not a perfect video that you can ever make. There's something, even if it's the most minuscule thing, there is something that's going to go wrong during that process. Yes. So, I would say for those kind of videos, they take over a week. And I always have my videos prepared ahead of time, and I try and work on more than one video at one time, which kind of helps me from getting burnt out in a weird way, because I'm not like focusing on one thing the entire day. Mm-hmm. But I would say it's stuff like, I don't know, 50, 60 hours to make a video, depending on what it is. But it sounds like a lot, but when you span it across a week and a half, that's a normal 9-to-5 job. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, that's crazy, man. 50 to 60 hours. I mean, to be fair, like we started doing time cards for what we're doing here on the podcast and everything. And I looked at mine the other day, and it was like I pulled like 20 hours in a week. Really? And I was just like, this isn't good. I shouldn't keep my time card anymore. I don't want to know. I'd rather not know. I just want it to happen. As one little disclaimer, the Professor Oak challenges are a completely different animal, because those take like a month to make, a month and a half, because those videos I'm not recording for like 300 hours, but I'm playing the game for like 300 hours. So those people that are gonna be like, that doesn't add up at all. I don't know how you do that in a week. I don't. Not even close. Sometimes it's 2 months to work on stuff like that. So just thought I'd throw that out there. Oh man. Oh, so what was like your favorite one to make out of all of these? Like, do you prefer doing one style over the other, or is it just like a quote unquote palate cleanser, even though you're still just playing Pokemon for each one? Yeah, I think that, every time I go into a video, there's never been a time where I've said like, oh, I hate making this video. Mm-hmm. I've never, obviously script writing is a different thing. I'm just like, wow, I really hate the way I'm writing or something of that sort. But when it comes to making videos, I would say my favorite one was probably the Fortress video, because that was just something I just thought about when I was at my old job. I was just thinking, I was like, wow, that's a really dumb idea for a video. Let's do it right now. Yeah. Right when I get home, let's do the research and figure it out. Cause it was just a really neat, it was a neat idea. And I just thought that it was just a really interesting topic to do a video on. I don't really know how to word it better than that, but that was just a lot of fun, because I learned a ton of new things about ribbons, which is not a huge aspect of the game. It doesn't sound entertaining, but when you're doing it, it's pretty fun. And you also I also found out about the Reddit community who does the ribbon challenges, which is it's cool. I mean, people have been doing this longer than I even had that, concept in my head. They've been doing it for years, and it's pretty neat that, that they had an idea like that. So, yeah.
Oh man. So I mean, you've explained a lot about YouTube, but what do you do outside of it? Like, what do you do when you're not making videos or playing Pokemon for 50, 60 hours a week?
Right. So to be honest, it's becoming harder and harder. Obviously, like if, it's my full-time job. So
yes.
it's hard to make the time outside of YouTube to, do everything that I really want to do. And I think I've always had this mindset in my head, and it really applies to a lot of things. So I always have these 3 things that you can do when it comes to like your life. So you have your job, your friends, and like your hobby that you have. And that can apply to things as well. Like for me, at least, it's my job, my social life, and my free time, which is essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
But that can apply to college, to high school as well. And it's the mindset that I have with that is that you can really only have 2 of those things. You can definitely have like a mash of all 3 of them, but if you dedicate your time to 2 of those things, it's really, really hard to have that 3rd thing. So having like working and, having a social life that you don't have like your hobby in the middle, or you don't have your social life. You have hobbies and you also have your work at the same time. It's very hard, at least for me. I'm sure a lot of people are a lot better at time management than I am, but it's, that's how I've kind of operated, and I've been trying to get better at that, because that's not exactly the most like healthy way to live, but I try to, do all 3 of those things. But it's definitely, when I'm making the videos that I'm making, it kind of gets difficult to do stuff like go out and, hang out with friends. Like I did it last night and I had a blast and all stuff like that, but I can't like hang out with people 5 nights a week. And I feel like that a lot of people can't do that either with, just a standard 9-to-5 job, or even most YouTubers probably don't do that anyways, unless they're, making big money and they can relax every week, but, yeah, I outside of YouTube, I like to spend time with, my friends and family. We have, game nights every Saturday over at my friend's house. And I've been, it's summer's coming around, and the area that I live in New England. So it's a lot of, or at least the portion that I live in, it's full of mountains and trees. And I've been trying to live like a more healthy lifestyle. So I've been trying to do, like all the trails, all the hikes that I can possibly do in the time that I have. And, that's obviously multi-purpose. I can spend time with my girlfriend. I can spend time with my friends. I can also get exercise, which, when you're sitting down for 10 hours a day, it's a little not healthy. So that's something that's always been on my mind. So I've always tried to do stuff like that. But when it comes to hobbies, like actual hobbies that I'm like super, super passionate about, it's honestly, and it's really sad to say this, but I just play more Pokemon. Even outside of it, I realized that like 2 weeks ago, I was like, wow, this is kind of dumb. I spend the whole day playing Pokemon, and then like once I'm done, I'm like, all right, well, we're done for the day. Let's go play like, Platinum for a couple hours. But I do play like, my Switch and stuff like that. But I've been focusing a lot on like outside activities because of the summer coming around. So
I understand that. I absolutely. You go play Pokemon Go. You go outside and get your Pokemon fix.
Yeah, it's kind of tough in my area though, which is unfortunate because I live in a really rural area, and I have I would say, I don't know, maybe 5 Pokestops within like a very long distance. I have like 2 gyms in my area, so it's pretty rough playing. But yeah, if I go into like the bigger cities, it's a lot more fun. But it's quite a drive to do stuff like that. Unfortunately,
I can understand that. But I mean, I guess that's pretty much all I have. I mean, are there any other future projects you want to talk about or anything?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I have. So the plan, I'm trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to like incorporate it, but I would love to work on my videos live. So I'd like to do them with Twitch, or if I can do them with YouTube. I've been doing it a little bit on Twitch, and by a little bit, I've done one stream in the past like month. So, but I think that YouTube might be a good platform to do it on, because I obviously have all, 100,000 people there, and obviously I'm not going to get that many people watching, but I feel like that's a better way to, broadcast myself to them rather than having them go over to Twitch, even though like I feel like that's the majority of people is that they use that. But to put a long story short, I would like to do my streams live, and I do have some videos that I'm planning, and I would like to do some streams soon regarding those. But that's the plan. As for videos, I like to keep them a secret, but there's some really, really cool things that I got hold of through some eBay auctions, which I'm really excited to show off. Yeah. That specific one is going to be, let me just check my calendar. It would be June 7th, hopefully is the date that I'd like to get that out. So depending on when this podcast released,
this would come out on June 3rd. So perfect. Very timely. Right, well. Yeah.
Yeah. So it should be around that time. It's obviously when it comes to my consistency, I don't really have one. So, yes. I wouldn't bet on it, but I've been trying to get them out every Friday or Saturday. So that's the plan. But, I try and keep them secret for the most part. But if you follow me on Twitter, at JohnstoneYT, that's where I post like really cryptic hints to my videos, which I love doing. Like, obviously I could tell you what the video is, but I really enjoy seeing what other people say, because it works in two ways. So I can get them to, get excited for the video that I'm putting out, but they can also, if they're wrong, they give me new suggestions for videos. Which works way better.
Wow. working all the angles.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I post like screenshots. So if you want to take your shots at what my next video is, I'll probably post something in the next couple of days. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So I guess this is a good place to end it. So before we leave though, where can everybody find you?
So you can find me on YouTube, and I actually just changed my URL, so this is a perfect time to plug this.
Yes.
On everything, you can find me at JohnstoneYT, so JohnstoneYT. So that works for obviously for YouTube, for Twitter, and for Twitch. I'm not really relevant or active on any of those other ones, so but I mean, I'm open to suggestions if people want me to make like an Instagram and show my hikes of me sweating. Yeah, I mean, sure, why not? Yeah. But yeah, so I do upload usually every week. I try my best to crank out content as much as I can. But yeah, I mean, if you just keep in touch with me on Twitter, I usually tweet about once or twice a day about my stuff. So yeah, definitely check me out.
Great. Well, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it, having you on. And it was really interesting listening to you talk, about all the things you're doing.
I'm sorry if I talk too much.
No, it's great. This was great. This was absolutely perfect. So we appreciate it. So I'm going to switch gears and I'm going to do my outro. So I will flip it on over.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. If you want more Puckly goodness in your life, guys, you can, of course, check out the Puckle Plus feed where we have extra shows up. There will be Puckle Live this week as well as Puckle TCG Cast, and I think Battlecast. We're all trying to get on a schedule again. Things are bumping around. We apologize for that mishap, but if you want that, you can go subscribe to Puckle Plus where we get more goodness happening. You can, of course, go and help the show out by following us on social media, whether it's over at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of those places. We're at Puckle Podcast. If you want to come and get more content, including Twitch streams where you can battle me for my gym badge, or you can even just come and battle me and hang out, you can go to twitch.tv/thepucklepodcast, which is a great place to do that. You can also subscribe there with your Twitch Prime membership to help to support the show a bit. You can also support the show by going to our TeePublic store, where you can buy a host and variety of designs, including the Piddle shirts, as well as the Puckle logo, or just some PuckleCon shirts. Finally, you can go to patreon.com/PucklePodcast, where you can go support the show, get some cool badges, get some cool shiny Pokemon, do all that stuff over there. So go check out patreon.com/PucklePodcast if you're interested in that. And I guess here, I am Trainer Thatch, and here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.
Closing time in
as always, we here at Puckle would like to thank our patrons who help us make everything possible. So thank you to Trevor, Greg, Feiger, Juicebox, duly noted, Tendrilman, Keegan, the fluffiest ones we caught, Shamu, Snag, Dexio, Christian, Kyle, Miguel, Apollo, Rotted Mushroom, Mr. Panda, Ryan, Seth Vilo, Wade, Marcus, King Kavik, Alolan Dirks, Tank, Samuel, Cloud9, Bodtech, Beauty and the Geek, Swamp Rattata, Tori Harrington, Steve R. Sigma, Doc McStuffles, Josh the Golden Klefkey, Angelic Forest, The British Gent, Trevor, Mark, TJ, Doc Knox, Dennis, Echo, Jonathan, Disco Calypso, Michael, Taylor, Colt, Maxi, Shambles, Tim, Andrew, Old Man Tup, David, Dark Shaggy, Chris, Aaron, Jeremy, Louise, Franco, Justin, Locke, Jordan, Jonathan, Graham, Greg, Alec, Mikey, Cuppy, Ozzy, Josh Ray, Halffle Reviews, Sparky, Coop, Jordan, Nick, Dylan, Huitku, Shira, Smacky the Frog, Ironcaster, Kevin, Orange Avenger, Thomas, Curtis, Anime Gravy, Hazelnut, Asgrush, Joseph, Traby, Cordell, Julia, Alex, and the Real Evie. Thank you to all of you guys for supporting the show, helping us make an awesome Pokemon community, and we will be recording the next Puckle Live next week. So catch you guys on the flip-flop.